Today we'll discuss about how to find minimum and maximum value for sphere and rash change function using Monte Carlo search technique. The formula for sphere objective function is given as sigma I running from 1 to d xi square. Similarly, for rash change, sigma I running from 1 to d xi square minus 10 cos 2 pi xi plus 10. So here you have to understand this. X is a real vector. Okay, so let us see the implementation. So first of all, import the required files and then understand the arguments for the MC search function. N is the number of samples, lower is the lower range, it is a vector, upper is a vector of higher values for each dimension, and the fun is the objective function. So the first thing is we have to implement the sphere function. So in the previous lab we have already discussed about the implementation of sphere function. So I already implemented it, so it is better. So I am copying it, and the next thing is we have to call the MC search function with the required number of parameters. First, initialize the number of samples, define the number of samples, and then define the number of samples, and then define the lower vector which is given as say for example the lower range for all the variables 1. So here I defined like this, the higher range one 0 0, and then after defining it you can call the function. So you can define like this. So you pass the second argument, something like this, and call the sphere, pass the sphere function. So actually we are doing the sphere objective function, and after calling this function it will throw S object. It is of type list, so we have to call the solution with the help of dollar operator, S dollar solution. Similarly, its evaluated is S evaluated. Okay, so we are doing the objective function for maximization for sphere function. Let us execute statement by statement. So now you got the results, you can see at the bottom. So at this value you got maximization. Similarly, you want minimization, you type min here. After typing it, you select all the code and then run again. So this is the minimum value you are getting. At this solution you are getting minimum value. Just you have to change this argument. Okay, thank you students. Now we will solve the rash change optimization using Monte Carlo search technique. In the previous video we have already implemented how to solve the sphere problem. So in the previous video I have already implemented the rash change function, so I am directly copying it. This is a rash change function. I am copying it once again. Okay, this is the rash change function. You can check with the problem description. This is the function we are implementing. After defining the rash change function, you have to pass this argument into the MC search algorithm, and then we want to find maximum. You just type here. So here also you can select rash change. So now you will get the output. Now you can see we are getting, you can see at the bottom, at this solution you are getting the maximum value. Similarly, to get minimum value, you just pass the min argument, okay, and then select it. So this is the minimum value you are getting at this point. So the only thing you need to understand is you have to define the number of samples and define the lower range for all the dimensions. So here I have taken the dimension is 5. That means you can see 5 variables are there, and also I have defined the higher range of for all the variables and stored it in the upper vector, and then I pass it to the MC search algorithm. So in this way you will perform the minimization and maximization using Monte Carlo search technique. Thank you so much.